Subscribe now. This story will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about trust. You won't believe what happened next. It was 2 a.m. when my phone buzzed. I rubbed my eyes, still half asleep, and saw her name flashing on the screen. Olivia. She sent a simple text. "I'll be late, don't wait up." Nothing unusual, or so I thought. I trusted her. After all, we'd been together for 3 years, built a life together, shared a home, shared secrets. But something in the way the words were typed, almost too casual, tugged at the back of my mind. I decided to call her. Not because I doubted her, not yet, but because instinct rarely lies. When I dialed, the line connected and a man's voice, answered before she could even speak. My hand froze midair, gripping the phone tighter. There was a brief pause, and then the man said casually, almost arrogantly, "She's with me. Don't worry about it." My blood ran cold. Every thought I'd suppressed, every little suspicion I had pushed aside, now screamed in unison. Olivia had lied, not just to me but to the life we were supposed to share. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I didn't confront her immediately. In moments like this, patience is sharper than anger. I put the phone down, sat back in the chair, and let the quiet rage simmer. It wasn't just the lie that stung. It was the confidence with which she assumed she could hide it from me. The casual way she thought she could erase months, maybe years of trust with a simple text. And that man's voice, calm, assured, familiar, confirmed everything I feared. They didn't care if I knew. They assumed I wouldn't, that I wouldn't notice. But I always notice. I replayed every detail of the night before, every subtle shift in her tone, every "I'll just meet a friend" excuse that suddenly didn't add up. My heart pounded, but my mind was precise, calculating, methodical. This was the moment where truth separates itself from illusion, where the story of someone's lies unravels in front of you, unedited and raw. And then I smiled. Not because I was happy, not because I was relieved, but because I realized that I held the upper hand now. She might have lied, she might have assumed control over the narrative, but I still had the power to decide what came next. And when the morning came, everything she thought was hidden would be exposed, starting with the truth she never expected me to uncover. I stayed in the living room, phone still in hand, staring at the dark screen as if it could tell me more than the voice already had. Olivia's lies weren't just words. They were a breach, a violation of everything I had believed about our relationship. And the audacity, the sheer confidence with which she assumed I wouldn't find out, it burned. I thought back to the subtle signs over the past few weeks. The late-night messages she quickly deleted. The hurried excuses whenever I suggested dinner or a quiet night in. The faint smell of cologne that wasn't mine. I had dismissed them as paranoia, as overthinking. But now the puzzle pieces snapped into place, forming a picture I hadn't wanted to see. Vanessa, her friend, the same one who always smiled too much, laughed too easily at Olivia's jokes. She had probably known. Maybe she was the one who enabled this, who whispered encouragement behind closed doors. But I wasn't going to guess. I was going to know. And I would, in my own way. I didn't call Olivia back. I didn't text her. Instead, I sat quietly, letting the weight of the moment settle. Sometimes the best reaction is no reaction. Letting the other person reveal themselves further by their own actions. I had learned that patience is a weapon sharper than confrontation. The truth has a way of coming out, and by the time it does, there's no defending against it. Hours passed. The night stretched endlessly, but I didn't sleep. Every thought circled back to that voice, calm, deliberate, claiming a space that should have been mine. And as the first hints of dawn crept through the blinds, I knew it was time. I was going to confront her, not with anger, but with the clarity of someone who sees the world in layers, who notices the small cracks in every facade. By the time she returned, expecting to walk into a home filled with normalcy, she would find something else entirely. A calm house. A quiet man who knew everything, who had pieced together the truth from fragments, who was no longer willing to play along. And the smile I would wear when she crossed that threshold would be the one she never saw coming. A smile that carried every realization, every betrayal, every truth she had tried to hide. The door creaked open and Olivia stepped in, smiling faintly, expecting the same old welcome. But the moment her eyes met mine, the smile faltered. I didn't say anything at first. I just looked. Calm, steady, unshaken. Every second stretched, and with each heartbeat, the reality of what had happened last night settled between us like an invisible weight. Her hand trembled as she set her bag down. Ryan. She started, but I cut her off with a quiet laugh, soft but edged with sharp truth. Don't, I said. Save it. Because I already know everything. The words didn't shock her as much as I had expected. There was a flash of fear, yes, but also disbelief that I had found out, that I hadn't reacted the way she thought I would, that I was still calm. And then Vanessa appeared behind her, hesitant, guilty. She opened her mouth to explain, to excuse, but I held up a hand. No need. I saw the messages. I heard the voice. And I pieced it together. Olivia's eyes widened. Vanessa's face went pale. Their power, the control they assumed they had, crumbled quietly in the face of my composure. I smiled then, not in triumph, not in anger, but in clarity. A calm, knowing smile that carried years of patience, trust, and respect that had been broken. You thought I wouldn't notice. You thought a text, a lie, a half-truth would erase months of knowing me. But it doesn't work that way. My words were soft, but they landed like heavy stones. Olivia sank into the couch, finally speechless. Vanessa stood frozen, realizing she couldn't step in, couldn't fix what had been exposed. And I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time: control, ownership of my own life, my own story. The betrayal no longer had the power to hurt me. It had only revealed the truth. I reached for my jacket. I'm leaving, I said calmly, turning toward the door. Olivia's voice came out in a whisper, desperate. Ryan, wait. But I didn't stop. I didn't turn. Her lies, her deceit, her games, they ended the moment I chose myself over them. And as I stepped into the quiet streets, the early light brushing my face, I realized that some smiles carry more than happiness. Some carry truth. Some carry the knowledge that you've finally reclaimed your life from those who thought they could control it. And this smile, the one I wore as I walked away, changed everything for me and for them.